Let me paint you a picture. You just had an insane sales call. The prospects was engaged, they were asking questions, and they seemed interested. And you pitched the price, and they said, "Let me think about it." And then, nothing. Radio silence. They've ghosted you. Now, if this sounds familiar, trust me, you're not alone. And the good news is, it's 100% fixable. Now, first of all, my name is Craig, and today I'm going to show you exactly why prospect ghosts you, and more importantly, the exact framework that I and my team use to make sure it never happens again. Now, here's what most salespeople get wrong. They think that prospects ghost them because the offer wasn't good enough, or the price was too high, or the timing was just not right. Wrong. Prospects ghost you because you didn't give them permission to have the uncomfortable conversation on the call itself. Now, think about it from their perspective. They're sitting there, they have objections, maybe it's the price, maybe they don't fully see the value of what you're offering, or maybe they need to talk to their spouse, but they don't say it out loud on the call itself. Why? Because saying it out loud means confrontation. It means potentially being sold harder. It means having an uncomfortable conversation that most people just don't want to have. So instead, they take the easy path, and that is the path of least resistance. They smile, they nod, and they say, "Yeah, that sounds great, let me think about it." And then they disappear and take the highway. Look, it's not personal. It's just easier for them to ghost you than to tell you no to your face. So why does this happen? Well, there are two main reasons. Reason number one is you didn't show enough value on the call itself. If somebody leaves your call without being 100% clear on the transformation your product or service delivers, they're going to ghost you. Because after the call ends, they're going to think about the price in isolation. $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Gosh, that's a lot of money. But if you did your job correctly on the call, they shouldn't be thinking about the price alone. They should be thinking about the value relative to the price. Something on the lines of this: I'm paying $10,000, but this is going to generate $100,000 for my business. Or I'm paying $5,000, but this is going to save me 20 hours of work a week. If they're not crystal clear on the value equation before they leave the call, they're gone. Now, reason number two why prospects ghost you is because you did not have the hard conversations. And this is the biggest one. And this is what separates amateurs from professionals, or salespeople from closers. And here's the truth. You are the adult in the room. Your prospects don't want to be confrontational. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to tell you objections because that's uncomfortable. So if you don't bring it up, they won't either. They'll just say, "Sounds good, I'll get back to you." And you'll never hear from them again, right? Now, your job, and your only job at the end of the call, is to create a safe space for them to voice their objections while they're still on the call with you. Now, here's the exact process I use and I teach my closers to prevent ghosting. Number one, deliver the price and go silent. When you get the pricing, or when you get to the pricing part of the call, state the price clearly and shut up. Don't just keep talking. Don't try and justify it. Don't explain it. Just deliver the price and wait. Let the silence do the work. Most salespeople are terrified of silence, so they fill it with rambling and yapping. But the silence is where the objections surface, right? Right after you deliver the price. Keep quiet, don't say a word, wait for them to speak, right? Step number two, ask direct questions. If they don't respond after like 5 seconds, right, and it's getting really awkward because it's just a drawn out silence, you need to ask direct, pointed questions to pull out what's going on in their head. Some of my favorite lines are, "What do you think about the price?" Simple, direct, and it gives them permission to be honest. Another question you can ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about moving forward? And if they say anything less than a 9 or 10, you follow that up with something on the lines of, what would need to change, or what would need to happen for you to make it a 10, right? Or another question you can ask them is, what concerns do you have right now that we haven't addressed, right? And this is a great one because it assures that they have concerns, and basically, you assume that that they have concerns, which makes it easier for them to voice that and bring that up to you, right? Another question you can ask is, if we were to move forward today, what would hold you back, right? And this reframes everything hypothetically, which lowers their guard, right? Now, another question you can ask is this a budget thing, a timing thing, or a value thing, right? And this one's a little bit more advanced, but it's powerful because it gives them 3 easy options to choose from. Most people will just pick one and start talking, right? Now, step number 3, you have to address the objections immediately, right? And once they start sharing their concerns, don't dodge it, lean into it, right? Now, if it's a price objections, right? Simply say, I totally get it. $10,000 is a significant investment. Well, let me ask you this, John, right? Or Sam, if the lead's name is Sam. Let me ask you this, Sam. If you knew for certain that this would generate $50,000 for your business in the next 90 days, would the price still be a concern? Now, if it's a timing thing, ask them this or tell them this. Makes sense. When you say the timing isn't right, Sam, what would need to change for the timing to be right? Right? Now, if it's a value concern or a value objection, you can say something down the lines of, fair enough, Sam. It sounds like you're not 100% convinced that this will work for you, right? Now, Sam, what specifically are you unsure about? Now, the key here is to have the conversation now, because if you don't, they're walking away with that objection still in their head and they're never coming back, right? Now, here's the other piece that prevents ghosting, and that is building rapport. Now, if you show up like a robot going through your pitch or script, or even worse, a pitch deck, without actually, connecting with a person on the other side, they're going to ghost you. But if you make it personal, if you make them feel like you actually care about them as a person and not just closing the deal, everything changes. Now, how do you do this? Well, before the call, just spend 5 minutes researching them. Look at their LinkedIn, look at their website, see if you have anything in common with them. Then reference it on the call. Say something like, hey Sam, I see you're actually based in Austin. I actually love that city. How long have you been there? Or you can say something down the lines of, I noticed you used to work at X, Y, and Z company. I actually know a few people over there, right? Small things like this make a massive difference because it shows you actually care enough to learn more about them, right? But here's the thing. If you're using a commonality such as, oh, I just visited Austin, or I know a few people that work within that company, don't lie, right? Because if they fact check you and you're talking shit, all of your rapport just went out the window, right? So make sure you're talking the truth and find a commonality. And this comes down to doing your research before the call, right? Now, here's the thing. Once you're on a sales call, you have to make it you and them versus the problem, right? And at the end of the call, specifically when you come to price, it's you and them versus the company, right? Your company, right? You have to get in that mindset, right? And here's the mindset shift that changes everything. It's not you versus the prospect. It's you and the prospect versus the problem, okay? You're not trying to sell them. You're trying to help them, right? And you're trying to help them specifically solve a problem that they have. And when you genuinely adopt that mindset, it reflects in how you speak, how you listen, and how you position the offer itself. Now, one of my favorite lines to use towards the end of the call is this. Here we go. Look, Sam, if this doesn't end up being a fit, no hard feelings at all. We'll split as friends, but I do want to make sure that we're on the same page before we hang up. Right? Now, why does that line work? Because it removes the pressure, right? It signals that you're not desperate, and it gives them permission to be honest with you without worrying about, hurting your damn feelings, right? And ironically, when you say this, they're more likely to open up and share what's really going on. Now, here's the reality. Most people avoid confrontation like the plague, right? They'd rather ghost you than have an uncomfortable conversation on the call, right? But you specifically, you're the professional, you're the adult in the room, right? You're the one that has done this 1,000 times. So it is your responsibility to create the environment where they feel, safe sharing their concerns. Now, if you don't do this, you're actually doing them a disservice because they might genuinely need what you are selling, but they may be too uncomfortable to say, I'm worried about the price, or I'm not sure this will work for me. Now, here's the hard truth. If they leave the call with an unspoken objection, you've just lost the deal. Maybe not today. Maybe they'll respond to your follow-up emails for a week or two, but eventually they will stop responding because the objection is still sitting in their head, and every day that passes, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But if you surface it on the call and address it in real time, you either overcome the objection and close the deal, or disqualify them and move on to the next opportunity. Either way, you win. Now, all right, with all that being said, here's your actionable plan to stop getting ghosted. 1, right? Here's the first step. Deliver the price and just stay silent. Let them process. Let them respond. Okay? 2, ask direct questions to surface those objections. Things such as, what do you think about the price? Or what concerns do you have? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are, right? Third point is address objections immediately. Don't let them leave the call with unresolved concerns, okay? 4, build real rapport. Do your homework, connect on a personal level, and make it about them and not you, right? And number 5, here's the other thing that you can use is, use this split as friends line. Remove the pressure, right? And give them permission to be honest. Now, if you apply this framework, you'll never get ghosted again, right? Or actually, I cannot say you'll never get ghosted again, but you will notice that, the people who do ghost you, those stats will come down a ton because you're not leaving it up to chance. You're not hoping they'll think about it and get back to you, because we all know the line "I'll think about it" means that they're going to ghost you, right? You're having the hard conversation on the call, surfacing objections in real time, and either closing the deal or disqualifying fast. That's what closers do. That's what real professionals do. So if this video helped you in any way, which form, or you just have a comment about this, drop a comment down below. And if you're a salesperson looking for high ticket offers, go to our website specifically. There's a little form that you can fill out where you will get real high ticket offers fed to you on a weekly basis. But other than that, I really hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.